Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, November 10th. So we have the moon in Gemini all day, pushing the boundaries of our thoughts, of our ideas, of our wants, needs, and desires in order to truly express ourselves. Our minds are curious. We are chatty Cathys. We are open to new ideas, to new methods, to new paths, to new directions. And of course, in Scorpio season, we are trying to figure out everything. Now, the moon in Gemini is going to help us to ask the right questions, to seek the deep, meaningful answers that we are looking for, and to kind of, I'm going to say, trigger certain questions, certain, I'm going to say, conversations that actually might reveal more to us without an intent to dig than what it is that we would have actually accomplished if we had set out with a list of actual questions. It is the experience of having conversations unfolding that trigger the light bulb moments that lead us into a new idea, into a new path, and into a new direction. So it's a relatively busy day here in the cosmos with 14 different aspects, 7 of them involving the moon. Now, as we talked about in this week's ascension forecast, we have Mercury and Venus, but today Mercury trying to steal the show. Mercury rules over the moon in Gemini, which means that there is a lot to process. There is a lot going on in our inner realm. Thoughts, ideas, feelings, question marks, all of those things that we have to kind of process in our heart space and in our head space and try to make sense of before we actually go ahead and start taking steps to move forward. Now, keep in mind, we are still very much in this full moon eclipse energy, and we are approaching a very, I'm going to say, pivotal astrological and energetic day here on the 11/11. And you know how I feel about portals if you listen to the ascension forecast. So we're just going to leave that word right out of it. However, we are kind of in an energetic sandwich, so to speak. And today we are definitely going to build the stage for some profound epiphanies to absolutely just blast us into a new perspective, a new pursuit of happiness. So Mercury goes ahead, bumps into Chiron, the wounded healer. We have Mercury here in the Scorpio energy, Chiron retrograde in Aries energy. And this is going to really help us see where it is that we have an opportunity to grow, to improve, to heal. This is progress at its finest. This is also an opportunity within ourselves to get a little bit straight and on the same page with what it is that we think, we feel. We're having revelations, we're having epiphanies, and if given the opportunity to have conversations with people of meaning and worth, we will definitely have that heart to heart and really kind of explore some of the, I'm going to say, past pain, past trauma, past kerfuffles in relationships, and really kind of open the door to a certain amount of healing. Now, Mercury goes ahead, makes a positive aspect with Mars. Mars, of course, retrograde in Gemini energy. Mercury rules over Gemini energy. And this particular, I'm going to say, little dance that we're doing here is really trying to align our new ideas, our new epiphanies with the path that we want to take in order to make things happen. Now, again, we're not in a time of action. Mars is kind of stunted out from taking action because he's retrograde. Instead, he has to kind of really kind of align with new ideas and topics and themes and passions and desires and really plan and really strategize how it is that we're going to go after these particular goals, ambitions, dreams, and visions. But this is a positive energy, which means that we're firing ourselves up. We have ideas, we have dreams, we have visions. Now we are logically and practically, strategically sitting down and trying to figure out how it is that we're going to bring these babies to life. This is a positive energy, and it's coming at a great time because Mercury is about to jump into the boxing ring with Mr. Saturn, Mr. Lord of Karma himself. So what do we get? We get a cluster F in our heart space and in our head space. Now, why do we have a cluster F? Because we're blocked from being able to align with a certain idea. It's almost like too many tabs, too many windows are open in our brain. We're having a little bit of a scatterbrain moment, and therefore not being able to complete a thought, not being able to see a certain idea all the way through and how we are going to bring it to life. This is going to really put us in a situation where we're not only having a hard time trying to identify what it is that we're thinking and feeling within ourselves, but we are almost being blocked from being able to share those ideas, those emotions with other people. We're kind of being blocked in the communication realm, mostly because Saturn is here to pump the brakes and make sure we're not going too fast, and to make sure that we are, thinking very carefully, step by step, on what it is that we want to do. And sometimes when we're overwhelmed with good ideas and these new, visions, we want to just blurt it out. And let me just tell you, you have a higher probability of successfully bringing your goals to life when you keep them to yourself. The minute that you share those ideas out into the world, for some reason, things start falling apart. So we're kind of obsessed right now with one particular train of thought. We are in Scorpio season, which means we do have an obsessive, fixated type of energy, really kind of making us have tunnel vision on certain topics and themes. With Saturn coming into play, those topics and themes are very heavy. They're very weighted. They're very difficult. They're very complex. Has a lot to do with bossing up, with new roles, new responsibilities, new karmic contracts. The weight of the world is definitely being felt. And right now, the weight of the world is being felt on the mental plane because Mercury is involved. Now, let me just say this. If in any way you are trying to push an idea, push a conversation, push a goal, take an action, make moves, you will find yourself blocked. If you are actively trying to make something happen and push something forward, you will run into resistance. This is not a time of action. And this particular aspect is definitely going to be pumping the brakes on what it is that we're thinking, the actual, complete idea that we're trying to bring to life, and blocking us and being able to share that information outside of ourselves. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and make a positive aspect with Jupiter, who is about growth and expansion, about beliefs and blessings. Now, he is retrograde in Pisces energy, again, giving us a little bit of a rest period, a little bit of a reflection period. Time to reconnect with our higher selves, with our dreams, with our vision, with our mission, with our purpose. And the moon in Gemini, of course, is just rapidly trying to process new thoughts, new ideas, new perspectives. And we've had a lot of things happen that literally has been pushing us into a stage of growth, into a stage of really seeing where it is that we do have to open up our minds and our hearts to new experiences. And with that, we are changing our belief system, what it is that we actually think is possible for ourselves. And this particular energy, because it's a positive one, and because, Gemini energy and Pisces energy is very electric together, this is a perfect conduit in order to really kind of channel our lower level intellect, our logic, our practicality with this great big dream, this great big vision that we are now being called to pursue. So we might find that there is a lot of profound insight and aha moments coming out of this particular aspect. The moon is going to make a not so nice interaction with Pluto. Pluto is the great transformer, and this not so nice interaction is creating a tension, is creating a conflict, is creating a little bit of a situation for us to debate. Now, again, let me just remind you that we need the not so nice aspects in order to create this tension and conflict, in order for us to be pressurized to see what it is that we're stuck on, what it is that we're, trying to work through, because when that tension builds up and we get tired of thinking about it or tired of feeling it, then we kind of go, aha, I know exactly what I have to do in order to, shut this show down. And so out of this, we are going to have a shift in perspective and a shift in our emotions as well. Comes at a beautiful time, though, because Venus, who is in Scorpio energy, is going to trine, beautiful aspect, with Neptune, who is retrograde in Pisces energy. We got some water on water action here. And as you may remember, Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Venus, of course, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money. She rules rules over our physical realms. What is tangible here in the physical meat suit, in our physical environments where, we are literally living out what is coming in through the higher realm of our mind space. And of course, that's where Neptune rules over. This is our intuition. This is our dreams. This is our imagination. And with this beautiful interaction between the two, first of all, we're starting to see the beauty, the small, beautiful things in life we're focused on instead of, the big, ugly crap. We're able to kind of see the silver linings. We are kind of starting to have this little trigger activation in restoring and renewing our faith. We are a little bit more trusting of ourselves, of the process, of the universe, of other people. We are a little bit more open to kind of, cooperating. Instead of just feeling isolated and disconnected like we have been feeling in a while, there's this want, need, and desire to just try to get along. And instead of seeing the ugliness, the darkness in people, which is very much the Scorpio topic and theme, right now we're having a change in heart. We're actively trying to see the best in people, actively trying to pluck out those silver linings. This is going to turn the volume all the way down on the tension and on the conflict that many of us have been experiencing in our personal relationships. And we can really expect a lot of aha moments, especially where, our intuition is concerned, where insight is concerned, where clarity is concerned, because there's a lot of spiritual wisdom flowing through us. With that Neptune energy, of course, we get inspired, we get a download from the higher levels of intellect, and then we bring it into the physical body, the physical form that Venus rules over, and then we can actually do something with it. So this is a very positive energy. And to continue this positive energy, we have Mars interacting with Chiron in such a way that would suggest that we are actively really seeing where it is that we have some steps to take forward. Now, again, we're in a state of non-action. We are in a state of trying to think about the steps that we are going to take to heal certain situations and fix certain problems and really kind of push ourselves into a new path where new dreams and desires and passions are trying to wake us up in a lot of ways. And this is going to be a great time to, I'm not going to say take action in establishing something new or initiating something new, but I would say if you have the built up energy that Mars usually triggers in us, it would be good to, throw yourself into the mundane tasks and chores, into the physical exercise, into cleaning up your environment, because the state of this energy means that as long as we can keep the physical body busy, we have a lot of epiphanies, a lot of clarity, a lot of breakthroughs being downloaded into the higher crown area. And as long as we can kind of keep that energy channel flowing, again, engaging the physical body, we're going to have some huge revelations on what it is that we want to do from here. Now, the moon goes ahead and sextiles Chiron shortly after. This is a beautiful energy. This is an aha moment. This is a profound shift in perspective, recognizing some very tough love life lessons that we've been in, some tough chapters, and recognizing now where we have to shift our attitude into making something good out of it. So growing, healing, learning, really exploring new paths, new avenues, new ways of doing things in order to kind of make peace with some of the circumstances that we can't change, but mostly just trying to fine tune that vibration and frequency and have the attitude of gratitude even for the not so nice life lesson, because it gives us an opportunity to really kind of build who it is that we are, our strength, our resiliency, our perseverance. A lot of these qualities and characteristics normally don't even get acknowledgement until we're put in a position to actually see how strong and resilient we can actually be. So the moon goes ahead and bumps into the true node in such a way that would suggest that maybe something's going to happen in our outside realm, acting as a trigger, acting as an activation to draw our attention into what it is that we want to do from here. So of course, the true node is trying to get us on the right path in order to, fulfill our mission, to fulfill our soul's potential, our soul's purpose. And because we're still in this eclipse energy, many of us just waiting for those signs, for those validation points guidance on where it is that we want to go from here. And this may just be one of them. So it is likely that maybe new information is coming in, or that you have a change of heart, or that you see a situation from a different set of eyes that will, if nothing else, show you what it is that you don't want. And figuring out what it is that you don't want is half the battle of figuring out what it is that you do want. And so having this particular energy kind of pop off, this is kind of showing us where it is that, emotionally speaking, yes, we are a little bit divided. There's still very much a part of us that wants to stick with the same old with the past, with these repeating patterns and behaviors. But then there's this other part of us that is like, you know what? I am growing a little bit tired of this bullshit. How about I change my perspective and I change my heart space and I change the way that I am perceiving the environment around me. And I take these signs, I take these validation points as it's time to grow, as it's time to move on. Just having that particular aha moment, if you will definitely shift our energy in our headspace and in our heart space. And of course, get the wheels a turning in our brains to see what it is that we could possibly want to do from here. Now, the moon goes ahead and bumps into Uranus, and this shakes things up a little bit. We might have a little bit of anxiety, excitement, anticipation. There is this huge emotional change. There is this huge mental shift. Something has changed in us, even if we can't put our finger on it. We want to do something new. We are old and bored. We are just, stagnant in this funk, and we're tired of it. We want to spice things up. We realize where it is that we're kind of blocked, where it is that we're too overly attached, keeping things the same. And this is really going to zap us, give us that jolt of energy, that shift, if you will, to where it is that maybe we just need a little bit more independence. Maybe we need a little bit more freedom in our lives. Maybe we need to, boss up and improve our situations in some way. Regardless, we have an itch for change that we will soon be gifted the green light go ahead to actually scratch. Right now, we're just trying to figure out our inner realm so that when we are gifted with that green light go ahead, we will know exactly the path that we need to take and where to best pour our energy. The moon and the sun come together in not the nicest way. Let me just say, Gemini energy and Scorpio energy, they're not really friends. They don't really get along so well. The Scorpio energy that the sun is sitting in just wants to keep to ourselves and kind of isolate and be private. There's a lot of emotions going on within us. We're trying to process our thoughts and our emotions to see where, the change is needed and where the changes are taking place, even if we don't want them. And then you have, the Gemini energy, which is just kind of extroverted. It's out in the world. It's looking for outside validation. It's looking for outside stimulation. It wants to be a chatty Cathy. It wants to talk and share and collaborate. And the Scorpio energy is just like, nah, we don't want to do this. So there is this push and pull that we will be feeling. We do see an overlap when the sun and the moon come together. The moon is very much highlighting our emotions and our unconscious self and what it is that we're kind of stuck in the past with and hooked up on, while the sun, of course, is trying to shine a bright light on where it is that we should be pouring our energy and kind of raising our vibration and frequency and consciousness in order to make this beautiful interchange that the Scorpio energy helps us to do in order to kind of renew ourselves, rebirth ourselves, rejuvenate and regenerate ourselves, which of course is all the Scorpio topics and themes. So there is this kind of clash where we are going to feel torn, where we are going to feel the ebb and flow, where we are going to feel uncomfortable within ourselves because the Gemini energy is too out there for Scorpio energy, and the Scorpio energy is kind of too introverted for the Gemini energy. And so we do have this push and pull that many of us will be kind of battling it out. Now, here's where things get interesting. We have the sun making a positive interaction with Mars. We have the moon trining with Saturn. And then we have the sun making a positive interaction with Chiron. So let's break this down. First of all, Mars is retrograde in Gemini energy. The moon is in Gemini energy. So we have a lot of ideas floating around here. The sun is in Scorpio, shining a bright light on what it is that we have to kind of change and transform in our lives. And Mars energy rules over Scorpio energy. So there's a little bit of a connection, a little bit of an intensity here. The moon in Gemini is trining, which is a good energy, with Saturn, who's in Aquarius, another air energy. That's where we get our trine. And this is helping us to boss up. This is helping us to see the path forward, the foundation that we need to build, the direction that we need to take. And then when the sun goes ahead and interacts with Chiron, who is the wounded healer, by the way, who is retrograde in Aries energy that Mars rules over naturally, now we're seeing, you know what? We're shining a bright light, transformational bright light on our ego selves, on our hurt, on our pain, on where it is that we're, healing through it and growing through it. And what we get here with this little interaction between the sun and the moon and Saturn and Mars and Chiron is that we are now focused. We are focused on what it is that we have to do from here. We are focused on coming up with a strategy. We are a little bit more open and willing to grow past this little cluster F that we've been in. We are open to seeing where it is the tough love life lessons has pushed us into a state of learning about ourselves. This is pushing us to be a little bit creative, I would say, with some of the new ideas that we're having, the new inspirations that we are trying to pursue. And basically, this is us saying, you know what? I'm tired of this. I need something new. I need a change. Yep, I'm ready to boss up. I see where it is that some of the crappy life lessons have pushed me into this beautiful opportunity to learn about myself and to put my best self forward and to grow and to evolve and to really just kind of elevate what it is that I am capable of creating in my life, because this is all about creation, right? We just went through this eclipse season that was about destruction and creation, death, rebirth, endings and beginnings. And now, because of this Gemini energy actively pushing our mind space into thinking about, the two paths that we have, one path being stay the same and get what you got, or push yourself to be better and see what's out there for you. And the Saturn energy, which is the tough love life lesson, Mr. Karma himself, is just trying to show us where it is that we're having a little bit of clarity on the step-by-step process that maybe we have to be a little bit more focused on taking in order to start building the bridge. Because the bridge is going to get us away from where it is that we're currently at and closer to where it is that we desire to be.